Hey everyone, Grayson the Bard here, and welcome back to day 138 of the Hunt-A-Day, and it is day 138. I don't know why it took me so long to say that. I couldn't remember numbers for a second, and we are 19 days out from Monster Hunter Wilds release. 2 weeks and some change, that's it, and then we'll all be playing it and having a great time, and definitely not dreading the fact that, hey, you have not been looking at any of the marketing cycle. The only thing you know about it is a little bit of the trailer. I'm not worried. And it's funny. I was looking at my it really snuck up on me. I was looking at my planning document with the list of all the monsters that I'm gonna hunt in what order. And I was like, oh, okay, I must have missed some days because I'm coming up near the end. And nope, I just am coming up near the end. Got a few bangers left to hit really good monsters, and then I also threw in just some small ones that I completely forgot to talk about early on in the challenge. I think if I were to ever do something like this again, I would try to spread out the monsters that I liked more throughout the series, because I really front-loaded the Hunt-A-Day. I fought some of my favorite monsters incredibly early in the series because I was excited about them. And now that I am in the final stretch, I've got a couple that I'm really excited to hunt, but a couple that I'm just like, yeah, these monsters are here, they exist. Legiana is not one of those, though. I really like Legiana, and I genuinely don't remember what the feeling of the community was when Monster Hunter World first released, but I remember people not liking Legiana, and I never understood why, because visually it is one of the best looking monsters in the game. Just the design is so sleek and clean, and to quote Kingdom Hearts, simple and clean, but it feels very that perfect intersection of draconic fantasy creature meets real world animal that I could see flying around, albeit in a much smaller form in our world. And of course, the color palette of, just the blue and white is just real nice. I especially love visually the pattern that it has on its wings. The deep blue diamond set into the real soft pastel white. It's a real striking look. His weird feeler antenna things coming off of his head that you can break off, they're great. And it's something that I really appreciate about the specific silhouette that Legiana casts. The way that the wing membrane kind of fuses into the tail is not something we see a lot with Monster Hunter. And yes, it does mean that we don't get a satisfying tail chop from Legiana, but it's still really cool looking. And the fight itself, I really enjoy. I remember this being one of my favorite hunts in base game Monster Hunter World, but I can see, if people don't like it, I can understand why. It spends a lot of time in the air, and I remember when Azur was, starting to be fought by more people, as they were getting to higher rank, people were really frustrated by how much time it spends in the sky. And I mean, that's where flash pod spam comes in, baby. That's all you got to do is just keep it, on the ground. But even then, even when it is in the air, it flies low enough to the ground that you can still hit it with most weapons. I mean, I don't play with a lot of the really short weapons longsword, or not longsword, sword and shield, dual blade, stuff like that. So maybe those have a harder time getting at Legiana, and that's where the trouble comes from. But most of the weapons are long enough that you can still get at it, at least its tail and its feet, while it's in the air. And for moments where you can't get at it, that's where flash pods come in. I think the fight's really fun. I love its acrobatic spins through the sky. The ice, I don't know what to call it except an ice drill dive, where it will dive at you and corkscrew at the same time. It's a very fun attack, and I really enjoyed the fight. Legiana is a monster I could see returning in Wilds, especially since it didn't come back in Monster Hunter Rise, which surprised me, because I thought it was a pretty popular monster when it came out, but I might be dead wrong. People may have hated this thing. I am gonna give it probably just because I say this a lot, but I am basing my opinion entirely on just vibes. I feel like Legiana has a decent chance of coming back, but not, oh yeah, it's a shoo-in. I could 100... intuition is not my friend right now. So I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10 for coming back in Monster Hunter Wilds. I could easily see it being back, but also wouldn't be surprised if they had it skip a game. And then for returning in a future game, similarly, I'm going to give it like a 7 out of 10. It's not a, just given my reaction to it and my uncertainty of how popular it actually was, I don't think it's one that's going to, people aren't like chomping at the bit to have Legiana back, despite how cool it is. So I think it has like a slightly lower chance. So 7 out of 10 to come back in a future Monster Hunter game. But again, I'm going to remind everybody, please do not tell me if I am right. I have been spoiler-free mostly spoiler-free on the Monster Hunter Wilds release monsters since the release date trailer in September. I've had a few things spoiled for me, but thankfully not much. So please do not tell me if Legiana is coming back. This is all speculation and just me having a fun time, so don't say anything in the comments, please. But if you would like to talk about Legiana, if you liked it, what you think about the fight, all that fun stuff, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe if you want to. Don't if you don't, and until next time, I'll see y'all next time.